Led by a lifelong interest in healing, Dr. Linda Salvin pursued an advanced degree in epidemiology. Then, after dramatic near-death experiences, Dr. Linda saw the other side and returned with gifts of insight, visions, and revealed wisdom. Now those gifts are ongoing, and she's here to share them with you. Get ready to be amazed. It's time for Dr. Linda Salvin's Psychic Solutions Podcast with America's original radio psychic, Dr. Linda Salvin, offering up her always fascinating blend of psychic psychology, clairvoyant insights, and expert guests and alternative healing methods. So pull up a chair and get ready for a visit with the one and only Dr. Linda. And now, live from Los Angeles, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Linda Salvin.
Hi, here we are, another show. This is the third of the week of this whole week with my trilogy of Psychic Solutions podcast. Tuesday, we had a real exciting show. Yesterday was an exciting show. Today's an exciting show, hopefully, because I need you to call in and participate. So the lines are open at 561-623-9421. Yesterday, there seemed to have been some complications in getting through, but the lines are here, or the line, and Rebel, who's the producer back in Louisiana, I'm in Los Angeles, will take the call and patch you through to me on the show. The Thursday show for right now, I'm going to be doing psychic and spiritual talk. So again, there's hundreds of topics that are available in the metaphysical world. I am a PhD in metaphysics and MPH, which is Master of Public Health and Epidemiology, Bachelor's in Health Ed. I've been doing health all my life. And a lot of it was because I was looking for my own solutions to figure out why I never felt good, whether it was depression or my addictions or whatever. And of course, through life and time and change and opportunity, I got rid of all of what didn't feel good. And I feel good now at the age of 70. As you know, Tuesday we had Sharon Winters on, and we talked about glyphosates and Roundup and the poisons that are on their food, whether it's fruits, vegetables, and the meats, the fish, everything we're eating and what we're inhaling is contaminating our bodies. And we represent a company that gives you 5 products to detox your body over a 90-day period, and then you stay on the maintenance. I've been on this stuff almost a year, and my insides are so clean and so different that I can't stop talking about it. And as you may have heard me say to Sharon the other day, I didn't want to do it. I fought it. I thought, oh, here we go again. Now let's have another product. Well, the first 30 days, I was not happy. Then I got into the next 30 days. And then by, I think it was day 84, I called Sharon and said, oh my God, it feels so good. And she said, Linda, it's 90 days. You will detox from chemicals, toxicity, mold, plastic, metals, heavy metals that are in our body. And that causes depression, anxiety, weight gain, high blood pressure, a lot of neurological issues. When you think about a credit card, which is about this long and maybe that wide, right? We're ingesting the equal amount of one plastic credit card a week. That's a lot of plastic going into our bodies, our organs, our tissues, our muscles, our blood. You don't want that. You don't want that in your body. So we have a product that detoxes. There's the amino acids, which is a pre-digested protein that gets into your muscle at 23 minutes. There's the green power drink. You drink once or twice a day, made of wheatgrass and different berries and vegetables, all that have been compounded into a powder. I do it once or twice a day, like it says, and I'm not hungry. It takes away my desire to eat because I'm being nutritionally filled up. We are hungry all the time on empty calories, especially processed foods. 1 box of cookies is not enough. 5 bags of potato chips is not enough because it's all empty. It's fun to eat. And then afterwards you feel, oh, I don't feel good. And then you want to detox. Then you might get a headache. Why are you getting a headache? Because the parasites in the body are feeding off the sugar, which is carbs, and they're looking for the sugar. So they're going, where's the sugar? And you get a headache. It's all related, folks. You don't have to have headaches. You don't have to have hangovers. You don't have to be unhealthy. You don't have to be inflamed. You don't have to be bloated. You don't. You can let go of all the inflammation in your body, taking these products that are pure, organic, healthy, nutritional products to enhance your spiritual and emotional and physical health. And that's what I'm all about. As a psychic, as a healer, as a medium, I've been doing my work for over 30 years. Okay. I am no longer heavily into the paranormal where I used to channel the dead people all the time. I did that for 22 years. And a lot of you know me from those days. I can't do it anymore. I choose not to. I have the ability to go to the other side, but it was hurting me as a person. It was hurting my social life. It was hurting my financial life. It was hurting my sleep. I just don't want to do it. There's plenty of talented mediums out there, and in certain readings, yes, I still pull in the other side, whether it's an animal or a person. But personally, as a female, as a woman, as a practitioner, I choose not to practice that part of metaphysics. It's just too dark for me, and it became painful. I would have headaches. I'd throw up. I wouldn't sleep. I would get a stomach ache when somebody had a stomach cancer. I pick up the entities' symptoms as to why they died. And I don't want that anymore. I just want to live my life. Who knows how much time we have ahead of us? I know how much is behind me. So I'm here to help on a spiritual level, get you on your path. I just got off with a girl in Atlanta, Georgia, who I just started learning all the things that she needed to do. And I said something about real estate only to find out that she already has a brokerage firm, but she's not doing it. So she is a little skeptical. And I told her what to do and to stop being afraid because she's hurting herself. And that's where she's going to meet her soulmate. And it's all tied together. Live, love, learn, be, do, have. It's all there, but we don't understand how to get from point A to point B sometimes, and we're stuck in a hallway. So spiritually, it's about faith. It's about trust. It's about opening up. It's about allowing the universe to guide us, not just me, but all of us. And I was out to dinner with Candy Finnegan last night when we do our Wednesday show, and I was realizing this Saturday, the 17th, will be 43 years since I was in that plane crash. That changed my whole life. I can't believe it's 43 years. I remember the first 5-10 years was just horrible, adjusting to what life was about for me. And I ran from a record deal. I ran from the man of my dreams. I mean, everything happened all at once, and I wasn't capable or integrated enough to feel confident that I could deal the music and deal with the marriage. And I bypassed all of it. And in retrospect, it's like, why? Well, I was too fragmented. I was out of my body. I was becoming psychic and spiritual while the physical world was on, and I couldn't explain to anybody what this split was. And for those that know the story, when I came down the ramp of the plane crash, I had an out-of-body experience. I was split in half and taken to the hospital. And that split, I was, hi, Billy, I was 50 feet out of my body for about 4 months. While I stand 5'8", I was also 50 feet out. And that was where the walk-in took place. And whatever entered me as a psychic explained to me back then was a psychic. And I said, oh, I'm not psychic. Well, I was wrong, because over the last 35 years, I became internationally recognized as a radio psychic, a healer. I work with people in many countries around the world. I was on radio, AM, FM for almost 20 years. Now I'm doing the podcast thing, and I'm out there, but I was given a gift. I was initiated in a very traumatic manner between the plane crash, my fire truck, towing a car, having the white light experience. And I was given gifts to help people just like you. So if you have a question, I would love for you to call in. Don't just pop up and say hi. Don't be afraid. Call in. The number is 561-623-9421. So we can talk about past lives, out-of-body experiences, near-death experiences. They're not the same. Astral projection, witches' writing, nutrition, holistic integration, psychic psychology, clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience. There's a lot of different topics. The channeling, I don't mind talking about channeling the other side and what it is. And yes, there is life after death. This is only a hallway, another hallway, being on the planet versus the ascension when we die. I also discovered through hundreds of channeling sessions, I did a lot in 22 years, that the soul goes on, the body stays. You cannot cremate a soul. Hello, Renaj, how are you? Give a call at 561-623-9421. Join the show and help me out here. The soul goes on. We have memories. We reincarnate. We have a lot of those memories. I mean, I saw myself as a male, a female. I was a jester in a king's court. I was at the crucifixion of Christ. I have been married to different people in England and Spain and here in the States. And when you go through past life regression, you open up the mind of the memory, and you regress past the year you were born. I was born in 54. And when I was regressed, we went from whatever it was, like 1990 or 97 maybe, and then I would go down to 1954 and break through this barrier and start seeing things in the 40s, 50s, or 40s and 30s and 20s and teens and 1800s and 1700s and 1600s. You see your soul. You see your life experiences, not just this incarnation that has you alive right now in 2024. No, there's a lot more than what meets the eye. Okay. I'm not going to get into the political realm, and I'm not going to get into anything racial or anything like that. But there's a lot of, we're in the middle of a civil war per se among ourselves, which is nasty because we're all segregated. We're segregated. We're not integrated, and it's all about peace and harmony and getting along. And it's not always happening. And I don't know that it's ever going to happen on this planet, because Earth is really a warrior planet. If you do all the astrology, it's a warrior planet, and there's always going to be war. Almost every president's had a war, and every president or some healer or some guru comes out and talks about peace. It has to start with ourselves. I've been talking about that for 30 years on the air, and I was just at a Conscious Life Expo, and they were saying how it's going to start with yourselves. We all say the same thing. So the message is, we got to go inside. How do you get there? Sometimes it's too painful to look at who you are, what we are, what you've been through, who hurt you, who betrayed you, who raped you, whatever. We've all gone through abuse, negativity, joy, accomplishments, success, heartache, love, school, abandonment. There's issues, there's feelings, but we're here. We're still here. What you do with it, you don't have to abuse yourself. You don't have to drink yourself to death. You don't have to take a ton of pills to numb the pain. You can learn how to live with self. And once you allow the spirit in the sky, so to speak, to come in, you will start to fulfill those holes or painful, dark spaces inside you and go. Like the girl I said today, I had a vision of like a frisbee being thrown, like she's ready to fly. She needs to get out of this rut she's in. And the spirit was saying, like, just toss like a frisbee, go for it, spin out there. And it's the same thing with any of you. If you feel stuck, think of a frisbee and you want to go get that freedom. Hi, Laura. Why don't you call in 561-623-9421? Laura's been with me almost since the beginning of my radio career back in 1994. Laura's been around a long time. She's done candles. She's had readings. We've talked a lot. Laura, why don't you call in and join the show? 561-623-9421. Numbers on the monitor here. And share your experience and strength for other people. Hi, Mango. Why don't you call in too? You guys, I love seeing all of this hellos, but I want to hear your voice. 561-623-9421. You don't have to be afraid. There's one line, so get in line. And if it's busy, keep calling back. But Rebel, are you there, or are you answering calls? Because I believe some of the phone may start to ring, and we'll get some activity going. Laura, I know you can pick up the phone. I know it's 4:15 where you are on the East Coast. So yeah, let me hear you. 561-623-9421. I'm used to doing talk shows, people, not just podcasts where I talk. I get tired of hearing my voice. And it's the same story and theory and concepts I've been doing for years. But the beauty is there's always somebody new who's here, who's discovered me. You could go to, Mango, it helps to open the box, read the directions, get the PDF file, watch the video, and then you call for the petitions. Otherwise, you spent money, but you don't know what to do yet. Open the box. You'd be surprised. So Laura's going to be calling in, and you'll meet Laura, who's calling in from the East Coast, and I'll ask her a few questions. She'll testify to some of what I've been through over the years. Please go to my channel, which is on YouTube, the Dr. Linda Salvin. Click the little bell, become a subscriber. And they don't do it on their own. Mango, you got to open the box. The directions are in there. What Mango's talking about are my Wicks of Wisdom. I sell Wicks of Wisdom. I created Wicks of Wisdom. What is Wicks of Wisdom? Wicks of Wisdom is a candle magic line. I was trained in Santeria, and then I combined it with Kabbalah after I started studying Kabbalah and the spiritual mysticism of what goes on with candles. And then we add certain essential oils. Everybody gets 4 bottles of oil, but each formula is different. So if you have good luck power, you might get green, gold, purple, and clear in your formula, in your little what we call burritos. But if you're doing soulmate, you're going to get reds. And that candle magic formula, I think, is green, red, pink, and blue, if I'm correct. And then the money and success is going to be green, red, gold, and brown, which I don't have sitting here. This is black. Every formula, it's like baking. It's like cooking. You know, you have recipes. Here's the red, or here's the pink, rather. This is the pink for the soulmate. We have different formulas for different outcomes. If you have banana bread, chocolate chip cookies, and lemon meringue pie, there's 3 different recipes for 3 different types of desserts, but they all are dessert, right? Some all have sugar and flour or eggs and whatnot, but not all of them have lemon, right? Or not all have chocolate. So it's the same thing with candle magic. The formulas are different if you need money and success or good luck power, or you want to bring in a soulmate, or you want to win a lawsuit, or you have a health issue, health and wellness. It's all there on lindasalvin.com, or if that's too hard for you, go to wixofwisdom.net. And you can see all the candles, read the testimonies. Let's go to the phone and bring on Laura. Laura, as I said, has been a long-time client, customer, friend, fan of the show. No, Renage, you cannot use these oils and other things. If you want, call in and I'll explain it. The oils are specific for the candles. You can put it on your skin in a bath, but that's about it. It's not for other things. It won't work anyplace else, and you can't do them on your own without the method of what goes on with Wicks of Wisdom. So, Laura, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, just working as always. So you've been around, since the 90s. Why don't you give some people information on how long you've been listening to the show, the readings, the candles, just some experience so other people hear the testimony. Yeah.
Yeah, since Psychic Friends.
You go back to that?
I think so.
With Dionne Warwick when I was in the infomercial?
That's where I met you, and I don't know if it was Dionne Warwick. What was the one after that where Storm Sestivani was on there? And
well, Storm and I met on the first Psychic Friends in 1992. Then in 1993, they used me again, but he was on. And then you found me on cable radio.
Yeah.
Because I got in Psychic Friends in 1992. For those that don't know, if you start Googling, Dionne Warwick, the famous singer, was chosen to do an infomercial on a psychic line. It was the very first 900 line. Back then, it was before the internet, because the internet didn't hit to 1996. We had 900 lines, and people would call in and pick numbers and pick psychics, and I was one of them. And they chose me to be one of the psychics in the infomercial, and that's where I got my little fame shot. So I started with Psychic Friends Network in 1992 and 93, and then I got into radio in 94 on AM, FM here in Los Angeles. Then I went cable and then back to FM, and it's been a journey for 30 years. So somewhere along the line, you found me, Laura. Yeah.
Yeah, it was in the early 90s, Linda.
Then it was 1992 when you probably met or saw me in the infomercial that ran 24 hours a day, especially overnight in the United States and Canada. Storm, me, and all the others, Dionne Warwick and Linda Georgian, who's no longer with us. But yeah, we all did that infomercial. And back then, infomercials were like what reels are now online, but the infomercials used to be on TV all the time. Wow. And then you found me on the radio, and I think Storm introduced you to me or however, and then you had a few readings. So yeah.
I've done readings. You've been, for the most part, very accurate. Can you hear me? Because I'm not hearing you.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I
don't claim to be 100% accurate.
Accurate. I've had multiple candles over the years. They helped my brother with his addiction, and he is clean. I literally can't hear you.
Because I'm not talking.
Okay. But it looks like you are.
No, then don't watch. Just listen to the phone. Don't watch the video because there's usually a 7-second delay. There's always a delay. Just talk.
Okay. Yeah. No. My brother. I burned the candles. Oh, was the original candles for my brother back. Gosh, I don't even remember when it was.
90s, somewhere in the 90s. Yeah, it was before the Power Wicks. I just called them. Yeah, I changed the names for the infomercial that I did in 05, 06 with Chris Jenner.
Yeah, it was before then.
Yeah, you probably did Next Level because it was 1992 and 93. I've been on TV a lot. Go ahead. So you've done the candles, but you've got results.
Oh yeah, got results from the candles without question. I don't remember why I burned my most recent set of candles, but I did within the last year, because I bought my house about 2 years ago, and it was after I moved here.
So it might have been good luck to remove negativity. It could have been harmony power to bring in peace and harmony in a new environment. It could have been money and success for your job as a teacher. Who knows? I could go look for old files, but they work.
Not necessary. It works.
Yeah, they do work. You take one candle at a time. You get the oils, herbs, and powders. You read the PDF file. There's herbs and powders in your little packet. We give you everything, and I teach you how to do it. Can you duplicate it on your own? No. That's why people come back. Or people say, well, I've been doing a lot of candle magic. I said, but it hasn't worked. They said, no. How did you know that? I said, you wouldn't be coming to me. So yes, these work. Laura, when you've had them burning, the aroma is sweet. Your home starts to feel special. You can feel the presence of a spiritual entity around you, kind of embracing you and hugging you while the work's taking place, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely the case. And the thing is you burn the candle, and when the candle goes out, if you can't relight it with a wooden stick, then you move on to the next candle.
Yeah, there's 3, and
how to
right.
You got to do the petitions, and you got to do them in pencil, and you got to keep writing and writing and writing till you can't read anything on the petition. I usually do it circular, so I'm writing around the circle.
Yeah, you just scribble. All that's in the directions. We don't put that out on the air because people don't know what the words are, and the words are specific to each person.
Oh, I'm not saying what the words are.
No, I know. You're just explaining the process. No, I'm not criticizing you. I'm just saying the process. Yeah, it's the process. It's work. And a lot of people don't understand it's work. What Laura's talking about is this petitions, people. You get 3 circles. You get 3 candles. You get 4 bottles of oil. You get the pack of herbs, and you get the pack of powders. But what do you do with it all, and how does it work, and why is it magic? Why do wicks of wisdom work like a prescription for your soul? That's the secret to wicks of wisdom, unlike any other candle line out there. And I'm grateful for the amount of testimonies and hundreds of people I have been able to help. We did your brother. We did your moving. We did your career. I think there was another time.
Yeah, we did Jimmy, who is now deceased. We did a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. And then
bunches.
We did a lot of sets. I think you got into the DNA nutrition, but you never took the product. And now we're doing the Purium on top of it, which is the detox, which you would absolutely love. And it's simple, but it's getting rid of the glyphosates, and you want to get, because everything you eat, vegetables, fruits, meats, it's all going into your body with the glyphosates, even in the air and the toothpaste and soap and shampoo. It's everywhere. You just want to cleanse your body. But Laura's been around almost the whole 30 years I've been doing this, folks. It's 30 years next month.
Oh, yeah.
I was given my start in radio, and Psychic Friends was 32 years ago. Yeah, 1992, right?
Yeah,
it's so long. It's hard to remember.
Number, Linda.
I'm sorry?
It was the 900 number.
Yeah, it was
the 900 number.
Yeah, that's what I said. Before the internet, we had 900 lines. And people would call the 900 line, and Dionne Warwick in the infomercials, Storm, who's a famous astrologer, was in it. And he and I met when he was 19. He's now in his 50s. I was in my 40s. I'm now 70. So a lot of time has gone by. And
your dad looks great.
Oh, you see him on Facebook? Yeah, he's going to be 95 in August. 95.
Yeah, my dad's going to be 94 in July. No, 95 in July.
Yeah, they're the same. We just keep going with these guys. They've got longevity, which means hopefully we've got the same longevity as well, Laura. We just keep being their daughters and showing up when we can, even though the mind might be slipping a little bit. But the gratitude of he's still here, and it'll be a whole day in hell when the pain's going to hit when he's gone. But, you prepare, you mature. But we're lucky at this age to still have a living parent. We're very lucky.
Absolutely. Because I'm a year younger than you are.
Right.
And let's see, what else? I'm still loving the heck out of my job.
Well, you became a teacher. Why don't you talk about your job? And you love working with kids. What are you doing, math or English? I don't remember exactly your topic.
I'm doing math.
I thought it was math.
In a high poverty school, in a district that's very well run, in a building that's very well run. Always know that it's not about the income, although that is a factor. It's about administration in the building. And if you're in a good building, then you got it made. And if you're not, then oh well.
Well, it's the same thing with psychic work. If I was really in it for the money, I probably would be an attorney. If I was really, it's not the motivating factor. You're so spiritual and emotional and compassionate and empathetic that you have a gift to teach. And I don't know about the new math today. I've seen some of the kids go through these long formulas that you and I had 1 + 1 = 2. We had Dick and Jane. We had a whole different way of being taught back in our day, 50, 60 something years ago. Now this new math, I don't understand why they changed it, Laura, and what they're trying to do with all these formulas. What happened? Talk about it, because I don't know, and you're the one to ask.
Yeah, that's
Why?
at the elementary level primarily. Here's the thing. I was taught, and you probably were too, how numbers work. And they just have a different way of teaching how numbers work. And the adults in their lives weren't taught how numbers work usually. And so they have a really hard time understanding it.
Is it an easy concept? Once you see the theory, I guess the kids can latch on, right?
Yeah, it is, yes. And that's the thing, because I teach AB calculus and I teach other high-level courses.
Oh my God!
And if you give me a kid who knows how numbers work, I can teach them any mathematical subject, provided they're willing to put in the effort.
Right.
If they don't know how numbers work, it's much more difficult.
It's the same thing with spirituality. If people don't understand how the spiritual, metaphysical world works, it's more difficult until that light bulb goes off, like, oh, I see it, I get it. Just like when you first came for a reading, or you just first started candle magic. How does it work? Until you understood the concept. It's new. Same thing. And the gratification for me is like when I would hear some positive feedback from you, is the same thing you get from a child. It's always we give and we receive. And sometimes we're hitting hard knocks, and sometimes we kind of have to be a little more tough love with certain people to break through. We can't just be walking on water all the time. You're not always nice, because some kids and adults just need to be shaken up. Like, listen, here's the problem. You want it or you don't. The solution is there. And you've been doing this for years now, Laura. And how many kids have grown up and come back after junior high and high school to thank you, or college even?
They do. Yes, they do. I don't know the number. I have when I taught in the alternative program in DC, I have several people who were then young men and young women who are Facebook friends. One of them calls me his sensei.
I think it's wonderful.
Well, he had been a drug dealer, and when I first met him, he was on a bracelet. And then he went to school and became a teacher.
Because you probably influenced him and helped guide him and let him know that there's a different way.
Oh yeah. No, and you're right about, I care too much sometimes.
I just got chills, and when we get chills, I just got chills. That's confirmation of spirit. This kid owes you his life. This kid is so grateful for your influence on helping him get out of the drug scene, going down the wrong path, to knowing that there's a way out. He went to school, he became a teacher, now he gives back and he gets rewarded. And that's the beauty of giving and taking in certain careers. I mean, we all give in our own career, but a lot of times there's no gratification, there's no personal reward. It's one thing to sell a car and you feel great and you get money, or you pass a bill in the Senate or something. I'm sure there's gratification, but there's something different when you're on a more one-to-one personal level.
Right. So, no, and I'm just finishing up a master's. It's a long story.
Good for you.
You get to our age and they don't penalize you for taking your Social Security with that while you're still working.
Are you getting it in education?
Say what?
What's the degree?
The degree is a master's in secondary mathematics. And I just have a project I have to finish. And as soon as that's done, I'll have it. And then I can teach at the college level if I want to.
That would be more, I think you'd be more fulfilled, and you would be a little bit more able to, if you would like to have a reading, Mango, you can book an appointment. I don't do channeling on the air. Thank you.
I understand. Nor am I asking you to.
No, I was just responding to somebody. They're texting me while they're talking. While I'm talking to you, I'm trying to balance the show.
Oh, okay.
It's not just you. Yeah,
Oh,
no.
Okay.
I think it's wonderful that you're going to get to. I think you're going to love. I think you would love the junior college level, working with adults after the kids. I have a feeling you could do both. I think you could do part-time in each once you get the degree. I think it'd be fabulously rewarding, and it'd be a whole different experience for you to be with more intelligent, ready to learn young adults besides just the kids. Laura, you're on the next year and a half. What are you, almost a year and a half out?
No, I'm a month out, 2 months out.
Well,
as soon as I finish the Doggone project.
I'm hearing a year and a half from now. A year and a half from now, you're doing both, but you're going to be working at the junior college level. It's not a question of wondering whether you will. I see you doing it. I don't think you're going to leave grammar school or the elementary level. I think you're going to integrate both.
Well, okay, because I'm at the high school level, and I'm just
sorry, Laura. I'm sorry if I'm not perfect. I'm just repeating what the Spirit says.
I know. I understand, and I do teach. Some students are very basic. And I guess that you're just repeating what the Spirit says. Yeah. And I do teach some children who are very basic.
But I see you at all levels.
They are absolutely correct. Give me a day full of calculus or pre-calculus.
Oh, God, I can't even think of calculus. I couldn't even get through statistics. My God, your brain, that analytical.
I hated statistics.
That's a whole other. It's hard.
But you're a social scientist, so you have to have taken statistics.
No, I wasn't a social scientist. I was an epidemiologist. I had to do biostatistics and epidemiology. It was hard.
Right, I was thinking it was public health, but
yeah, it was. But we're all along those lines. It's still a challenge, and you've got the mathematical genius. All I'm saying is that you're going to be teaching more, influencing more, and within a year and a half, you're going to see yourself really accelerating at the junior college, maybe even going into college at some point down the road where you actually get tenure.
Okay, well, I'd have to get a PhD for that, and
some schools take masters. I have a lot of PhDs and medical students or medical professors, but there are some that would take you beyond the college. Why don't you let things open once you're done and watch what happens, Laura?
Okay.
It's all there.
Yeah, because one of my colleagues at work is an adjunct at one of the local universities. And he has a master's.
And they want you there. I'm telling you, the doors are going to open, and there's an exception. The beauty is you could get a part-time assignment is what I'm getting in a university. But once you're on campus, they pay for the PhD. They pay for the education. They pay for your degree. That's one of the bonuses.
If they're going to pay for the PhD, I'll do the PhD. It's just,
of course, it's 3 years. Laura, it's all in front of you.
Okay. Well, I don't sound like I'm slowing down, do I?
No, none of us are. Look, I got my PhD at 54, my master's at 23, and now you're 69 or 70, and you just keep going. Where else? What do you get? You're just doing. You're just doing. You're not leaving.
Exactly.
Especially with your longevity and your genes. I think you're going to end up at the university level in probably 5 years. You mark my word. You'll come back and say, "Oh, I didn't believe you."
I've learned better than not to believe you.
Yeah, I'll say something. People go, "What are you talking about? It's never going to happen." And then a year or two later, oh, it happened. Yeah, well, don't want to know. Don't talk to a psychic, right?
Indeed. Or at least a real one.
I am a real one. I'm going to thank you for calling in. wait till you get your degree and you're going to start applying for the junior college. And I bet even next fall, there'll be a course or two, even if it's nighttime or if it's online, something's going to open up, and then take the lead with your friend at the university and let those doors open. It's going to spider out. So you may have 2 or 3 options. Don't limit yourself, Laura. And then you publish.
Okay.
You're going to publish. But I think there's a tenure coming down the road. I think you're going to be really safe and secure and moving up.
Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate
You're welcome.
that.
I'm glad that
I don't normally do. I'm sorry.
What were you going to say?
Linda?
Yeah, I don't know what you were trying to say. We broke up.
Yeah, we lost the line for a second. No, thank you for doing the reading online. I know you don't normally do them when you're live, but that's okay.
No, I do on Thursdays. That's why I have the phone line. Now I have the phone line on this.
Okay.
Program. Yeah, no, Laura, if I didn't want to give you a reading, you would not have had a reading.
I get it, Linda. I get it. We've known each other too long.
Well, Laura, thanks for calling in.
Okay, you take care, Linda. We'll talk to you soon.
You got it. Congratulations. Okay. Bye.
Thanks.
You're welcome. She has struggled. She has been tenacious. She didn't give up. She got through when she did her bachelor's to get into teaching, and then she got into this school in the not so great area, and then she became the star of the math, and now she's finishing her master's, and yes, I think she's going to go on for the PhD. People, it's never too late. It's never too late. We just keep going. Others, what are you going to do? Nobody retires and sits on the porch. I mean, some people do, but why? You have energy, you got gifts, you got talents, you got interests, you've got life. Life is short. We're not really here for a very long time overall. If you'd like to call in, you can join me at 561-623-9421 and ask a question or a comment. And, if you got the candles and you want to ask a question, when you buy Weeks of Wisdom, open the box, because inside there's a purple sheet of paper. Yes, purple's my color. And as you can see behind me and around me and on the whatever. No, we never stop learning, but a lot of people do. A lot of people think they're done after school. A lot of people won't even read a book. Statistically, reports have been made that most people after bachelor's or master's and even PhDs will never read another book after going through education. But when you get the candles, don't call me to say, I got the box. It's like, I know you got the box. They're shipped USPS and you got a box. And if you open the box, you're going to see the instructions and it'll tell you where to go on a certain web page for the PDF file and the video and the samples and what it looks like to write everything out in pencil and why you use pencil instead of pen and why you use a lighter instead of a match. There's all these different rules with Wicks of Wisdom. I don't care what other people's candles tell you to do. And it doesn't matter about the waning moon or the retrograde or if it's a Friday for love or a Tuesday for money. I don't buy into any of that stuff. Wicks of Wisdom work like a prescription for your soul. And you heard from Laura, we did work on her brother and her school and her education and her money. I mean, she's just one of thousands of people. Right now I'm burning about 8 sets of candles for a gal in Portugal. I've been burning for somebody in Switzerland. I'm burning candles for a guy that lives here but goes back and forth to Israel, because a lot of people aren't able to either pay for the shipping or have the time, like pilots and policemen and first responders. They have me do their work because they're not home to do the work. So it's available for you if you want it. lindasalvin.com and wicksofwisdom.net. You can read all about it, read the testimonies. The orders are there. And if you're listening to this show, until February 23rd, there's a special sale going on. You buy one set, you get the second at half off. But you have to call the office or email me in order to get that. There's no coupon available online. But if you're listening and you want to get 2 sets of candles for 50% off the second set, now's the time to do it because they're shipped in the same box. You save on your shipping and you save on your petition consultation because you get 2 sets per consultation. Again, the number to call in is 561-623-9421. And if you have a question with regards to love, money, moving, travel, health, communication, spirituality, how to open up spiritually, God, who's God, what's God, is there a God? That's what I'm about. been doing it, like from Laura, since 1992, when Psychic Friends Network became my first psychic job. Somebody, I think another psychic told me I was psychic. I said, I'm not psychic, even though I was told I was psychic in the 80s after the plane crash. And I was. I ran for 12 years. I didn't want it. I thought it was humiliating, embarrassing. And back then, nobody was talking about psychics, and there was no internet to talk to people. We didn't have the internet till 1996. Yes, there was a life before Google and YouTube and Facebook and everything. And Laura and I go back to those days of 900 lines. And before that, they didn't even have psychic lines. So it's about 30 years that the psychic phenomena took over, because the new age started and the spiritual evolution exploded, and we just branched out. So there's a whole world of consciousness and self-realization and the UFOs, or channeling, or crystals, or whatever you're into, healing, massage. There's hundreds of different departments, categories, disciplines within the realm of the healing arts, metaphysics, spirituality. Those three topics right there have different categories. So whatever you're plugging into, that's for you, your soul, your level of growth, your ascension. For psychic and spiritual talk, that's what we're doing right now. We've got about 10 minutes left. Rebel, why don't you join me? And let's see what's going on here. What's going on with you?
What's going on with me? Oh, just
Yeah,
a lot going on with me.
well, give me something to pick up and tune into and
Something to
fix.
pick up. Well, I'm always at work. It's a work thing.
Yeah.
That's life, and I'm always trying to study, because I do believe in keeping the learning going.
Yeah.
I definitely I think my friend teases me and says I'm a collector of degrees or collector of certificates. I like to know things.
I understand that. Laura's that way. I'm that way. A lot of us are academic or professional or want to keep learning. And some people don't care. They just have these minds for business, and they're making millions, right? And they never went to college, or they didn't, they dropped out. Everybody's different. And some of us are more academic, or some of us are more trivia lovers, and some of us are more sports lovers, or some of us want to know all the world events. Or like yesterday, when unfortunately the parade took place in Kansas to honor the Chiefs, and then a woman who was a broadcaster, as you may know, was a DJ, was killed. And the 22 other people that were injured. So some people just want to focus on world events and disasters like that. It's horrible, but it's all part of life. If you're helping a kid in the ghetto who learns math and goes on to straighten up from being a drug dealer to a teacher himself, and Laura gets a lot of the credit for her love and unconditional guidance for somebody, and it's the same thing I do. And if you didn't have a passion for dealing with all these shows and working with Dean for over 10 years, that alone is commitment. Hello, Dean. If you're listening, we're talking about you. No, I mean, you got a slave driver sometimes, or a boss, but you love what you do.
I do love what I do. And even though I study other things, I study more about my craft, I also learn other things. And I had two things in life to go to. When I was young, they put me on stage since I was 5. I've been on an entertainment stage, but I did have to go to school and everything else. And my second love was law. And I always wanted to be an attorney, a trial attorney.
You still can.
I know. It's just money-wise, it's outside of my reach right now. So I have to do little bits at a time.
Unless you find a smaller school or online where it's half the price, or you get a loan, or you get the grant. There's ways to do it. How old are you right now?
No one knows that, Dr. Linda. No one knows that.
Okay, well, you can type it, and then I can give you a time frame as to what I see happening. Just type it in the thing here. But it doesn't matter. My uncle, who's now deceased, he died at 101. I think he took the bar 5 times, but he never passed. And he was in his 40s and 50s when he kept trying and trying. It just wasn't meant to be, but he gave it his best shot. You have plenty of time. I knew a girl who's now a very, very successful bankruptcy attorney here in Los Angeles. She's probably in her 70s now. She was about 54, 55 when she went to law school. And they even asked her, why do you want to go to law school now? And her answer, because, you get interviewed, She said she wasn't married anymore. She was divorced and she had to take care of herself and she wanted to help people, but she needed a secure position until she felt like retiring. And at one point, I know they wanted her to retire at 67. She said no. And she's still a partner in a firm. So, and she makes a lot of money and she's helped a lot of people. So you have that opportunity. If you keep reading and studying, I'm sure if you go online, there's plenty of online schools. You don't have to just drive to Yale or Michigan where I went. I didn't go to Michigan Law, but they have a good law school. There's a lot of online courses that you could still do on the side, just like what Laura's been doing, teaching, but still getting her master's. And I think she's going to end up with her PhD. I think that's in your cards or your stars, Rebel. I think you can be, the doctor of law in about 6 years or less if you really want it. And then we would call you counsel Rebel.
I like that. Counsel. Yes,
then you can ask Dean for a raise.
I'll let him know. I'll let him know about that raise thing.
For those that don't know what we're joking about, Dean owns the network that we're broadcasting on Talk for TV and Talk for Women or whatever. He's got so many different stations and channels. It's just, here I am. I am one of the talk show hosts on his network. And I love all of you starting to participate more and more and more. Hopefully next Tuesday, a friend of mine who is a former Super Bowl winner, he won the Super Bowl, and I've seen a Super Bowl ring on his finger from 1984. If I can get him, we're playing phone tag, but so far he's agreed to come on the show next Tuesday, and we'll talk about football, of course, the Super Bowl, but his spiritual growth and what he's done, because you can't be in football forever. And he played for Stanford, and then he went to Super Bowl because, they go from grammar school and wanting to go into college, and then they get recruited to the nationals and pros. So it would be nice to have a former football Super Bowl winner on the show. So if you have some guests that you think would be kind of cool, let me know. I'm going to be filling up the Tuesday show with more and more guests coming up, which I do, and I can have them here, but I want to have the time to speak with you guys as well. So every Thursday, I think, is more of like, let's just talk it through or ask a question. And I just ask that you not bring up anything about a deceased loved one, because as soon as I see the word or feel something with death right here, my brain opens and I immediately connect to their side. And I'm not covered, I'm not protected, and I'm not sealed, and I really don't want to get sick when I have other things to do in my day. Channeling is a very different form of psychic ability. I am a healer where I remove blocks, obstacles, negativity, grief, guilt, pain from the tissues, organs, and muscles. 1 or 2 sessions, people have told me they feel better than having gone to a therapist for 3 years. I do the readings, which is giving predictions like I gave Laura about what's going to happen in her future, or just like I said to Rebel, that she could go to law school. And I think she will go to law school. If she can study everything else, she can be at the board studying, torts and wills and whatever else you want to do. But I think it's there, Laura. I really do. I think you're going to find the school online and get your degree. I mean, Rebel. I do. I think you're going to find it, and you're going to not bite the bullet so much as just do it and know that it'll pay for itself. Something's going to open up, I think, between now and July. So let me know, obviously.
I definitely will. Definitely will.
Yeah. We have 2 minutes left, and I'm going to start to wrap up. As I said the other day, I've got this beautiful, beautiful black amethyst heart that I bought at the expo the other day, and I sit here as I'm on the air. You can't see it, but my hand is on it, so I can feel the energy, and it's calming me down, because there's also hematite in it. Hematite's one of those metals, stones, and that grounds people. And then the amethyst, of course, opens up the third eye for intuition and psychic abilities. For those that don't know, yes, I'm a real psychic, as Laura attested. I became psychic in a plane crash 43 years ago this coming Saturday. It changed my whole life. I was on company business doing health and safety, and everything changed. And I looked back and made some wrong decisions. I was fragmented. I was scared. I was out of my body. I was doing things nobody had ever heard of. I was laughed at. I was betrayed. I was abused. I'm still here. I'm still here. God has a plan for each and every one of us, and not a religious God. It's not about that. I'm going to leave you with my butterfly poem. God, are you real? This is how I see God. Child whispered, God, speak to me. Meadowlark sang, child did not hear. So the child said, God, speak to me. And a star shone brightly, but the child did not see it. So the child said, God, speak to me. And I can't focus with all of you guys. Thank you. You're not listening, so it's confusing me. The child said, God, speak to me. And the star shone brightly, but the child did not see. The child said, God, show me a miracle. And a child was born, but the child did not know. So the child said, touch me, God, show me you're real. Whereupon God reached down and touched the child, but the child brushed the butterfly away and walked away unknowingly. Watch for the universal metaphysical messages out there. There is signs, synchronicity, messages, totems, tokens, all sorts of cool stuff we can talk about next week. That's the end of the show. Rebel, thanks for tuning in. Go check some of those law schools. Actually, I just gave a PhD website to a friend of mine, so maybe I'll look it up and see which is best for you, and I'll send it to you. If you have questions, lindasalvin.com. If you want to book an appointment, lindasalvin.com. If you want to order your Wicks of Wisdom for this week, you get half off. Email me and say you want the discount for Wicks of Wisdom that work like a prescription for your soul. I'm Dr. Linda Salvin, and we'll talk next week. Take care. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us. We hope you enjoyed Dr. Linda Salvin's Psychic Solutions Podcast. You can reach Dr. Linda at 888-509-1077 or at lindasalvin.com. Need a breakthrough of your own? Ready for answers or insights nobody else has? Reserve your own one-on-one in-person chat. Dr. Linda isn't just for other people. Dr. Linda gets results for you. And it's easy. Contact details are on screen now. Just click on lindasalvin.com or call toll-free 888-509-1077. That's lindasalvin.com or toll-free at 888-509-1077.